I want to welcome everyone to our first ever holiday book bazaar and party. My name is Matthew Félix, Sausalito Books by the Bay, who helped us to promote today. Colette is a San Francisco-based artist and writer.
Larry was incredible to work with, and Lavinia is it was a perfect project, a dream project.
Let's give a copy away to a lucky winner. I really wish we had a drum. Innis is a freelance photographer. Kimberley Lovato is a journalist.
And they're really beautiful pictures inside our book, Quartraits, Portrait of a Community in Quarantine.
That's what they were, portraits of people in quarantine.
TMZ reported that Innis lip-synced his CNN appearance the other day, so I was just wondering if you could confirm or deny that. Now for some trivia. How many technically correct spellings of Hanukkah are there in the English language? Bill Zarchy filmed projects on 6 continents.
George Washington walks away from the winter encampment at Valley Forge and disappears.
She won and left. She won and she's out of here. That's why I staggered the giveaway, because I knew people just leave when they win. Nancy at M Hardesty.
So the story that this puts forth becomes kind of a touchstone that occurs all throughout the Bonnet Book.
In what modern country was Saint Nicholas born?
Germany.
Turkey. Germany.
Lori Koski got it right. Turkey. Catherine Karnow and Gilles Portaz.
When I arrived, Gilles said, "Are you over your jet lag yet? So I've got an idea. Let's do a project."
What are the colors of Kwanzaa? Tania Amochaev.
And this is the right time for this book. 100 years ago exactly, my family fled Russia. And so to write this book, I was determined to retrace their steps. I went to Russia and somehow came to peace with my father. And I can't explain why, but being there and seeing where his family left was just deeply, deeply touching.
Catherine Karnow and Gilles Portaz, based in San Francisco and Provence, France, from where they are joining us now, very kindly. It's very late for them.
When I arrived, Gilles said, "Okay, are you over your jet lag yet? So I've got an idea. Let's do a project."
We go to the village, we run to photography and interesting people like artists.
Nancy at M Hardesty.
I found this in my grandmother's estate. I started writing the book first, but then within 6 months, I found this. This is the only book that was left in her estate. And you can see the hats here. There are hats on both sides, and there are notes about the hats. This is actually an address book. She has made it into a diary. It is 118 years old. So the story that this puts forth becomes kind of a touchstone that occurs all throughout the Bonnet Book.
Bill Zarchy filmed projects on 6 continents during his 40 years as a cinematographer.
In the book, George Washington, general of the colonial army, walks away from the winter encampment at Valley Forge and disappears. And he shows up several days later, or it feels like several days later to him. He shows up at the Point Isabel Dog Park on San Francisco Bay in the summer of 2014.
Innis is a freelance photographer based in Los Angeles. Kimberley Lovato is a journalist, book author, francophile, and champagne drinker. I just opened my own.
When I saw those pictures, and they're really beautiful pictures inside our book, Quartraits, Portrait of a Community in Quarantine. And I called him and I said, "Have you thought about putting these pictures in a book?"
I felt this need to create and get out and do it. A friend of mine said, "Get your camera, Innis, get outside and go take pictures. Just go keep creating and doing something, because you're going to go crazy just being locked up inside." And I started to move and do that. There were these quarantine portraits that's what they were, portraits of people in quarantine. And I came up with Quartraits, this word of combining the two, because that's what they are. They're portraits. And that's the title of the book. And it kind of just took on a life of its own.
TMZ reported that Innis lip-synced his CNN appearance the other day. So I was just wondering if you could confirm or deny that.
That's fake news. I'm sorry.
That's fake news?
That's fake news. No,
Okay,
That's fake news. I'll prove it to you right now.
The best for last. And I don't mean that in the sense of playing favorites, although she is definitely one of my favorite people. Colette is a San Francisco-based artist and writer.
I failed to mention that I illustrated this book.
Minor detail that I was about to call you on. Yeah.
Like, why is this
I'm
woman-
just standing in for Lavinia. I'm just a
Right.
stand-in. Yeah.
Just details. But, and it was during the pandemic, I have to say, just a dream project, because every day I had these women to read their beautiful words and just be inspired by their courage, and then take a scene. Larry was incredible to work with, and Lavinia, and they would say, paint the scene that comes most easily to you, or that you would like to put into the book. So it was a perfect project, a dream project.
I want to say thank you again very much for everyone for being here today, the presenters, the attendees. I want to thank again Cheryl and Sausalito Books for the Bay, or by the Bay, for helping us get the word out. Happy holidays. That brings our program to an official close. I'm going to hang up.